Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another Horrorpalooza review. I believe this is review number 17, either 16 or 17. I lost count. I'll look at my playlist later and see which number I'm up to. But anyway, this is the 1976, I believe, review of the original, the one and only Stephen King's Carrie. Yes, directed by Brian De Palma. I saw this movie a long time ago. I didn't bother with the remake that came out in 2013 because it's just a watered down version of this. I want to see the original, and I saw the original. It's a really good film. It's probably one of the best Brian De Palma films I've seen, other than Mission Impossible. It's a very atmospheric, very creepy, very, tense movie about a young girl, Carrie, who everybody bullies, and, she has her period in the shower and they make fun of her, and her mother is an over religious bitch, which I did not need that in the movie. I thought that was just completely forced, even back then in the 70s. And I thought Sissy Spacek does a really good performance in the movie. Every time she's scared, you have to look at, she has these big eyes that are very soulful, and you know what's going on. The film is very well shot for the 70s. You got a young John Travolta there. This is before he did Grease, and around the time he was doing Welcome Back, Kotter. Um, the performances are really top notch. I think they're better than anything in the remake. And then you have the kicker of the film. Carrie has psychic powers. Like every time somebody gets in her face or they offend her, some crazy music comes and she's like ching ching ching. It's like the Psycho theme, and Carrie just shoots her psychic powers at people like a telekinetic, like superhero, or like Jean Grey. And she doesn't mean to do it. It's just people are just so mean to her, and it's just sad. I mean, they say that she's ugly. I'm sorry, Sissy Spacek was gorgeous back in the 1970s. I think she's a beautiful, young, vibrant woman from that time. She still looks good today, even though she's old. I've always liked her. So she's a Southern belle. I think she has a nice, soft voice. Her performance really carries it. That's the one thing that these other Carrie films just couldn't do. The Rage, Carrie 2 did not have a strong lead girl. The remake from 2002, I haven't seen it, but it does not have. Whoever played Carrie cannot measure up to Sissy Spacek. And Chloe Grace Moretz is not Carrie. I'm sorry. She's too cute. She's way too young for that role. And people say she's ugly. Have you looked in the mirror? Yeah, I've seen uglier girls. And Chloe Grace Moretz is a cutie pie compared to some girls I've seen on the internet. But anyway, the original is the way to go. If you want to see Carrie, see the 70s version. It's the best one. The Palma directs the crap out of the movie. I needed that. Everybody knows the movie for the cover, which is the scene where Carrie is asked to the prom, which is a setup because John Travolta and this girl. I think it's Nancy Allen, yeah, from RoboCop. This is years before she was in RoboCop, the first one. This was in the 70s, so she was really cute then too. And they dump pig's blood all over her dress, all over her head, and it's one of the most shocking moments I've ever seen. It's not scary, but it's really really just very disturbing in a way. There's a difference between being scared and being just outright disturbed. And it's just it's a good gore effect too. It's real. It's not real blood. It's fake blood, but it's practical. It's not CGI. There's no CGI in this movie. The atmosphere, and once that happens to her and she goes batshit crazy, I cannot blame her. I never blame Carrie in this movie. I blame the assholes that treated her like crap in the locker when she was showering. I blame John Travolta's character, Nancy Allen, humiliating her in front of everybody in the school. I blame her over religious, pretentious mother that's beating her over the head, saying, "No, you need to pray and ask God to forgive you," or whatever. And I'm like, no, Carrie just needs people to be understanding. And I can get that. I can relate to her. That, she wants to be accepted for who she is and not be bullied and be treated like shit. I get that. And the ending, yes, it's a shocking ending. If you have not seen the ending, spoiler alert, I'm going to spoil the ending. She gets buried in the ground, and her hand comes up, and she grabs a lady. It's basically like Friday the 13th ending. It's a shock ending. How do I feel about the ending? It's shocking. It's not the worst ending ever. I've seen worse, and it doesn't ruin the film for me because I think it's a well done movie all the way through from beginning to end. It's not too long. It's very atmospheric. It's the 70s, so you know a movie's going to look great. And some of the best horror films are in the 70s. Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've heard Last House on the Left, the original, is actually well done. It's not for everybody, but it was well done. The original Omen, the original The Hills Have Eyes, I think it looks good. Like I can say the original Hills Have Eyes, I've seen clips from it, and the film looks fantastic. I like a movie that looks good and is atmospheric and draws you in with its backgrounds and visuals, but in a good way, not just special effects thrown in your face. Here, the most of the special effects is just Carrie staring at somebody, and then just the psychic powers just knock them down. It's very well done. The remake could not capitalize this because it had shitty CGI. I heard that, and you have Chloe Grace Moretz, who's a good actress, but she's not ugly. Sorry, she is not ugly. Neither is Sissy Spacek. I'm sorry, they're not ugly at all. They're very cute, and I sympathize with this character. She's not the villain of the movie. She's the protagonist, not the antagonist. The antagonists are the assholes in the school that should treat her right. You know, this is the kind of thing in films and shows that piss me off when it comes to real life because people bully people for no reason. I'm not here on YouTube to bully anybody. I have an opinion. I want to share it with people. They don't agree with me. It's fine. But if you're going to be an asshole, I block you. I remove you. It's done. That's how I feel when I review movies, and that's how I feel when with this character Carrie in the '70s version. Really good performance by Sissy Spacek. It's a well-made movie. It's horrifying. It's that pig blood scene is still one of the most you know disturbing images ever put on film, and they have copied it, but time and time again. But this is the way. This is the OG. This is how it really started, and it's a capitalized moment because the film is not that gory, like compared to other films of the '70s. And the budget was well spent, and it's a good movie. I would recommend the original Carrie. Avoid the remakes. The sequel, Rage Carrie 2, it's a time waster. I don't think it's horrible, but Emily Burgle or Burgle, whatever her name is, she is not Sissy Spacek, not even close. And that's more like a slasher film than this, which is a psychological horror, which to me is very well done. It's all in the mind, and Carrie has a good mind on her shoulders in this movie. Anyway, this is a good film. I would recommend. It's an old movie. Give it a chance. Don't say, "Oh, it's 30 or 40 years old. I'm not going to say it's boring." It's an atmospheric movie. There's a reason people put this on a pedestal over the other Carrie films. And there was no direct sequel to this, in the 80s or in the late 70s. There was one in 1998, but it was nothing like the original. It's more like a remake than a sequel. But I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay, but it just doesn't have the strong cast that this one does. Anyway, that's my review of Carrie. It's well done. It's one of De Palma's best. It's a Stephen King novel I never read. I don't know how faithful it is to the source material, but as a film, it still holds up. I think that blood scene alone is one of the best scenes in a horror movie because it shocks you. Nowadays you expect it, but back in the '70s when people saw that, they did not expect that to happen. And you know, it's crazy. Like they would drop pig's blood, not even human blood or like of a dog. They put it pig's blood, and it gets all over her. It's just that's horrifying. If that happened to me, I'd probably be screaming for days because I don't want any animal's blood on my face or on my clothes. It's just creepy. But anyway, it's a good film. Check it out. Is it the scariest thing ever? No. But it is atmospheric. I've said that for a lot of these good horror films. It Follows and the original Carrie and Halloween. All these movies have atmosphere. Also, Mama. It worked because the atmosphere. You feel this surrounding, and you're terrified. You're looking behind your shoulder like you don't know if Carrie's gonna knock you down. But it's a good film. That's all I can say. Anyway, thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting. You guys are awesome. Keep watching my videos. I know you've enjoyed my trailer reaction to Guardians 2. Can't wait for that. It's going to be freaking awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next horror review.